Bucky. Yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Allison if you are new here, and this is going to be a very fun video. Today's video, I am finally introducing you all to our new puppy. Well, kind of a puppy. He's a little over a year old, but he's a German Shepherd, and German Shepherds don't really leave puppyhood until they're about 2 years old. So we are nothing but puppy energy, but there's a little bit of a backstory to this. So here is Mr. Bucky, a perfect little angel, and you might be wondering why he has a cone on that is the size of the moon, basically. So Bucky was a rescue from the Humane Society. He's about 1.5 years old, and we're pretty sure he's a purebred shepherd. I really wanted to make sure that I was rescuing a dog and not just buying one, even though I'll go into it a bit later why rescuing this dog and all of the German Shepherd rescues and breed-specific rescues were a nightmare and honestly worth it for him, but like, that's a story for another day. But Mr. Bucky, oh, he got up from his nap. But Mr. Bucky's from the Humane Society. His owner got him as a puppy, and then either there was an issue with a neighbor dog or something that happened, and he had no choice but to surrender him. And I'm a little bit glad that he did because we were able to rescue him, and now he is our little doggy. So since the owner had him as a puppy, I think the owner decided not to neuter him, so he still had his doggy bits intact when he was brought to the Humane Society. And so the Humane Society actually neutered him 4 or 5 days before we adopted him, and we got extremely vague instructions about what his care should look like. He came out to us in a cone, and the individual who brought him out to us, he was jumping everywhere, going crazy. Like, he literally almost ripped my top off when we first met him. He just has tons and tons of energy and loves people, and his way that he's learned to greet people is to jump on them. He has very little impulse control. We need to work on some manners, but overall a great puppy. But the Humane Society didn't give us a lot of instructions on how to care for him post-surgery. I think we got him 5 days after he was neutered, and they told us, you can take the cone off. If he starts looking at it, put the cone back on him. No jumping or crazy activity, and this dog was wild. He was on no medication, so he would just be in his normal self and bouncing off the walls. He was good in the car, and then we brought him home, and he would not settle down for the life of him. It was just way too much effort. Oh, we want some pets. And coming home to the new home was just so much for him to handle while he was still adjusting from his surgery and the cone, strangers, a car ride, a new house. All of it was a lot for him, so he had a hard time settling down. It took him a solid 2 to 3 hours. We just took him straight outside to the back to let him calm down and settle down. It took him 2 to 3 hours in the backyard to finally lay down with a stick and start chewing on it. And we had his cone off at this point because we were told yeah, he's fine, take the cone off, which in hindsight, we should have just left the cone on immediately. That will come later on in the story. And then the next day was the last day of my husband's home. If you're not up to date on my channel, my husband is in the military, and as of right now, he works weeks at a different city. So he is gone during the week, and he was home on the weekend the day that we had him. But the day my husband was leaving to go back to work, we started noticing that Bucky's incision site was really swollen and then really red and really irritated. And I started getting very concerned. So we ended up calling the ER vet, and they said basically we have a very long wait. He'll be very stressed out in the kennels here unless he's dying and actively bleeding. We think you should just wait until tomorrow. And so I was very stressed out. I slept downstairs with him on the couch. I actually have not slept upstairs in my own bed since we brought him home over a week ago. So that first night I was super stressed out waiting for the Humane Society to open back up, because the emergency vet also said if you adopted from the Humane Society and they did the surgery, they'll take care of the post-op care. So we waited till then, tried to call the Humane Society. I was calling them 5 or 6 times, leaving tons of voicemails, and they just weren't getting back to me. And at that point, it had gotten even worse and even more inflamed and more, it was just terrifying to me, and I was a disaster. I was crying on the phone with Christian, and he was at work. Bucky didn't feel good, and I just didn't know what to do anymore, and the Humane Society just wouldn't call us back. So I finally just took him to the ER vet, and they basically said that they probably want to sedate him because he's just too wild to get a good look at the wound. So they wanted to sedate him, and I'm like, that's a lot of money. I want to do what's best for the dog. Is there anything else we can do to minimize pain or whatever until the Humane Society just calls me back? Because if we're going to do surgery, the Humane Society should cover that. The doctor said, like, that's going to be fine. Like, I think we'll be able to manage a lot of his symptoms with some medication. So he is on like 15 million pills. I have a little like doggy pharmacy set up in my kitchen. He was on an antibiotic, he was on an anti-inflammatory, a pain med, a sedation drug, he had a probiotic supplement, he had a topical mousse, he was supposed to get cold compresses. They also wanted him to stay in the cone, obviously, and then they wanted him to have restricted activity. So no running, no jumping, just sitting down and laying down. And so we did put him on that. And then the next day I finally like called the Humane Society and was rude enough to get a meeting with somebody. So we took him in and they said, oh yeah, his cone's way too small. So the cone they put him in after surgery was the wrong size. So the entire time that we had had the cone on him, he had actually been able to lick his incision. So every night that we were sleeping, he would be able to get at it and irritate it. So that was kind of frustrating. So we got him a new cone, and this cone is definitely a little bit on the big sides for him. You can see that like I could fit like my hand in there easily, but we had tried the original cone they gave us. We had ordered a different cone. This cone actually stayed on and worked. So we were fine with it like being able to slip off a little bit. It hasn't been an issue so far, so I know it's not technically the right size, but it's the size that has worked for us. And now we've had Bucky. Today is day 9 of us having him, so basically I think it's been 2 weeks since his surgery, and we are looking a whole lot better. The medication has thankfully, praise the Lord, gotten all of the inflammation, all of the irritation under control. The proper sized cone has stopped him from getting at his spot. So we are on the mend. We are going to be having a phone call with the vet tomorrow to see when we can lose the cone and when we can use activity again. Until then, he has finished his like antibiotic medication, but he still needs to be on his sedative pills just to keep him calm, so it's easier for him to just rest all day, because as you can imagine, a puppy, big German Shepherd, wants to just run and play and work, and we want him to be able to, but he needs to be healed up first. So he has a couple more days of just his sedation medication. He did the rest of his meds this morning. Yeah. So he's mostly just very sleepy, very cuddly, and he just wants a lot of belly scratches, and that's okay. So I wanted to introduce you guys to him. Hopefully I'll have other footage to show you guys of him running around and jumping around as a healthy puppy very, very soon. But I thought I'd take you along on some things that we bought for our rescue pup, what our routines looked like, how things have been, because with all things put aside, like the major health complications, he is a fantastic dog. He is so lovable. We have no idea how anyone gave this dog up. He is well trained. We haven't had a single doggy accident the entire time he's been here. I'm just so amazed. He knows sit, he knows shake. I taught him to touch with the palm of my hand. He knows stay. You want to show them one of your tricks, Bucky? Can we touch? Yes, good boy. Yeah, so we're just mostly a little bit sleepy, lots of yawning, lots of napping, and lots of checking the windows to see if any intruders are coming. We've noticed that he's a bit protective of the house, so if a dog walks by, he is all over that, and definitely a good little watchdog, but he is great. He hasn't barked at any kids that run by, which is really good. I took him out in the morning one time to help him go potty, because going out in the backyard was difficult, so we went for a little mini walk, and we got very, very aggressive about another dog, but we managed that. But we are always excited to meet new people. Like whenever I've taken him to the vet, he is always more than happy to just jump out of the car and go with whoever the vet tech is, grabbing his leash. He is always so happy to meet people. He is just such a little sweetheart. Yes, you are. I'm talking about you. Do you know that? And he has his gorgeous ears that I'm ready to unleash from his cone. So because we have this really, really huge cone, like you guys can see like the width of this. I wish I could expand doorways in the house, but since we can't, we've done some other modifications to the home to make it Bucky friendly. First, we have pushed aside the coffee table, so all of this is like comfortable spot for him to lay in. I've moved the couches aside so he can squeeze through this spot. We also pushed the table against the wall and took out all of the chairs, and so he can come and look at this window. If I'm working over here, he can come fit in here. All kinds of things to make this place Bucky friendly. We have a crate for him because we eventually would like him to be crate trained, but his cone won't fit inside of it. We left the door open one time and he's tried to go in there, but his cone just like literally won't fit. But we just yesterday got him a doggy bed that will fit in his crate eventually. He has a really soft blanket that you can tell that he's loved on already. He's put some nice holes in it. Here's his previous cone that was way too small and that he managed to crack open. What? Do you know that we're talking about you? He also loves this door out to the garage because that's where his food is kept, and that's where Christian, my husband, goes in and out of, and he thinks the garage is the funnest spot. What do you smell? What do you got? You got a smell? A sniffer? But look at these ears, guys. I'm ready to free them. Come here. Come here. Yeah. We got puppy energy. Hey, we're not chewing on the camera strap. No, thank you. Easy. Sit. Sit. Down. Yes. Good boy. Good boy. Bucky. Yeah. I think one of the big things with No Accidents is he knows how to tell us that he's ready to go outside, because he'll come right here, sit, and just stare at us right by the back door. But I also just took him out, so I know that he probably is only asking to go outside to hunt for sticks. So we're not going outside, buddy. You don't need to go that bad. So there is the gist of the story of Bucky. I have lots of clips on my phone from the past couple of days with him, the past week and some change. Thankfully, Christian will be home full-time starting tomorrow. No, today. He's coming home, moving in today on October 20th. So we are very, very excited to have like our little family reunited. Hopefully tomorrow Bucky gets the all clear to lose the cone and we can go running and playing and go on long walks and play fetch. It's also so sad because it's not like he can sit quietly with a chew toy or a Kong. We've tried it, but his paws, like he likes to use his paws to help hold the bone or the treat that he's working on, and his paws he can't get to because of the cone. So the blanket's what we worked with mostly because we can ball that up for him and he can like stick his head down there and get it. He's also being very demanding. How can you say no to this face? But since Christian's coming home today, I want to put the house together a little bit more because Christian is not as into this dog as I am. He loves this dog, but I have spent every single night sleeping on the couch down here just to make sure Bucky doesn't get at his wound or he doesn't like lose his mind or get stuck somewhere or something bad to happen. Oh, we're going for our blankie. But he's ready for us to move back upstairs, get into a more normal rhythm with this dog. So I want to put our carpet back here. Obviously I took that out of the way just to make sure in case there were a puppy accident and ruin the new rug we just bought, but I am pretty confident that we'll be fine now. So I'm gonna move the rug in to this space, probably wash these blankets, and then we need to vacuum because vacuuming happens every day now.
I'm on the way down, catch the vibe and I feel okay. I got nothing to do but kick it with you.
So here's our new carpet. Bucky helped me a lot with putting it together. Obviously it's not gonna stay like this, it's gonna move up, but I wanna leave this as open as possible still for Mr. Conehead. What do you think? Do we like it? Oh, we have a scratch. He's also not doing it right now, but he is such a classy pup. He normally will sit down and cross his little paws. He actually just had his sedative for the morning pretty recently, so that's probably hitting him kind of hard right now, which is why we don't got a lot of energy. We just got tiredness and sleepy face and some yawns. But normally these little paws will be crossed. I'll insert some photos here or some videos of them being very, very cute. It's also hard because he obviously was allowed on the furniture in his last place, and we will spoil this pup to death, but we do kind of want to keep him off the couches and off the bed and off of the furniture. And so far he's done really, really well. It was a little confusing the first day when we couldn't just hop on the couch. He also shouldn't be hopping on the couch because of his sutures. That's not good for his healing. And that's why I haven't really moved him upstairs either to our actual bedroom or slept up there, because one, the stairs aren't great for his healing. Like, it's best if we could keep him still like this. Like, this is exactly what we want him to do for the majority of the day. Going upstairs, especially with this big cone, is putting a lot of stress on his body and can irritate the sutures. And we don't want him thinking that he can just jump on our bed. We kind of wanted him to get settled down here and know that the couches are off limits, and then eventually when the stairs are safe for him to take again, we'll bring him upstairs and teach him that the bed is not for him to jump up on. But he's doing really good. He came up once on his own. I was taking a shower last night just to clean up a bit, and he, I guess, got a little bit too lonely downstairs or whatever, and he snuck up the stairs. I heard him clanging up the stairwell while I was in the shower, and then I came out and just found him laying on the floor waiting for me. Mr. Bucky, is there anything you have to say to the people? Bring snacks? Bring naps? Okay, so we're gonna start vacuuming now. Mr. Bucky, stay. Always very excited to come into the mysterious laundry room. He needs to wait though. And then in this closet is where we keep the vacuum, which is always full of dog hair now. But I think it is so cute to watch him with the vacuum. He's not scared of it, but he's not the bravest around it. Good stay. Also, I just took him outside and he already has dirt all over his cone. But Christian's now on his way home, which makes me so happy, and I can already tell that he's going to be annoyed with Bucky. The main thing that's helped us with this like healing process and like getting Bucky to stay still has been me physically staying still. I mentioned a little bit earlier that we're a little worried about separation anxiety, mostly because he picks up and moves wherever I pick up and move, and we haven't had a lot of time to like practice him being alone. I have gone upstairs by myself like maybe like 2 or 3 times a day. Ow. He just ran into me. For like 2 or 3 hours a day, just to get a little bit of space from him, let him be alone a bit, practice his stay, and that's been pretty good for him. We have a lot of work to do on that, but Dad will be home, and Christian is a like get up and do it, so he is never like staying still in one spot. So him not really moving around is not a great mix for him and Bucky, because Bucky will follow you wherever you go, and with a big cone around him, he is running into your ankles all the time. So until Mr. Buckster can take it easy and gets the all clear to start running around all day, buddy. Sorry guys. Everything should be just up and up from here. Everything should be fun and good news and great. I wanted to share the first like authentic week with you guys and vlog it, but I know that personally I wouldn't want to watch a video where it would end on if the dog would be healthy or not. And now that Bucky is finally in the clear, I want to share with it. I filmed something already and it just was like a downer. I like was upset watching it because his health was questionable, another surgery was up in the air. Like there was a lot that was questionable, and I didn't want to share something unless it was positive with you guys. So everything is a-okay now. Mr. Bucky is gonna have a full recovery very soon and be a puppy very soon, so much faster than we even believed was possible. So I'm gonna sign off here, say goodbye to Bucky. I'll see if I can grab any footage of Christian coming home and Bucky greeting him, because it's always really stressful because Bucky's jumping, he's not supposed to be jumping. Christian has like 15 bags. It's always a whole thing. So I'll see what I get from that.
Yeah, now we lose.
Nope, you're not in the clear. Yeah, he's happy. Look at that tail. He's very excited about this room, and don't let him in here. Bucky! Yeah, Bucky says bye to everybody, and we will see you in the next one. Bye!